As a Prime Minister, I will express my opinion about the motion that is going to university is a must. Alright, education is very important for everyone. Education affects the future both for themselves and for the country. Education can also help a person to achieve their dreams and make them successful in the future. By having a high education, human resources or SDM will be more qualified. So the more qualified human resources with high education, a country will be more advanced. Indonesia has a 12-year compulsory education program, or as Indonesia calls it, Wajib Belajar 12 tahun, that requires children to study for a minimum of 12 years or must graduate from high school. From this, we can conclude that the government suggests that in learning not only graduating from high school, it would be better if you continue to a higher level. By continuing higher education, we will get a lot of benefits from it, both in terms of economics and social. Some of things we can get by continuing higher education is the opportunity to work in accordance with the field of interest. So we will be more enthusiastic and happy to do the job, because the field of work that has been directed from college, so when working will be directed and not random. Then there is the opportunity to earn a large income. Job prospects for college graduates will be wider. The profession that will be obtained can also vary as long as they are still continuous with the measures taken. The profession that will be obtained are also great professions, so this will affect the result of someone's income. Then have wider job opportunities. With the degree obtained from continuing education to college, the job opportunities obtained will be wider, because some workplaces have several requirements to be accepted to work, one of which is bachelor degree. This is done because it is the standard of their company. They also think that graduates will be more committed when working, because to get a bachelor's degree requires high commitment, so they believe that this commitment can be applied when they are working. Even though the job is not in the field they studied, the company believes that graduates can think critically and communicate well as they have been taught in college, so it is not too difficult for them to complete their work. So by continuing education to a higher level, it will make it easier for us to get a job. According to CNN Indonesia, based on data from the Central Bureau of Statistics or BPS, many vocational high school graduates are unemployed than the other graduates. Therefore, continuing higher education is highly recommended. Furthermore, continuing higher education can increase relationships. When in college, we must be able to build and have good relationships with classmates, seniors, juniors, or anyone we know, because they all can be relationships that will be very helpful when we are already in the world of work. Especially if you join an organization, it will be very useful for expanding friendship and relationship. Then it can be a way to develop yourself. Being a college student is not like being a high school student, because students must be able to manage their time well. From all the busyness during college, whether busy with organization, work, or with lot of assignment. Skills will also be trained during college, starting from public speaking, cooperating with other students, discussing and solving problems, as well as being trained to think critically and independently. These skills will be very useful when applied in everyday life, also in the world of work. then having a broad insight and increasing knowledge. Many new things will be learned during college, so the students will get a lot of knowledge during study in college. The last but not least is to improve social status. People who have a degree will definitely have their own pride from themselves and their families also, especially if they have an impressive profession. Other people will appreciate and respect more. Alright, that's all from me. Thank you. As a leader of opposition, I disagree with the motion that says going to university is a must. Education is important for everyone, but everyone's ability to go to university is different. There are many factors that influence people to choose not to continue their education to university, some of which are the high costs involved. As we know that continuing education to college requires a lot of money. There are many needs that need to be met to become a student, such as college equipment, transportation, living expenses for those who come from outside the area, and many more. So when continuing education to college, it is necessary it can become a financial burden for the family. For example, children from less prosperous families have to continuing to college. Parents have to borrow money from banks, have debts here and there. Will burden the family. Well, there are many scholarship programs available, but not everyone is able to meet all the requirements. Then if everyone is required to go to college, if there are people who are not interested and not serious about their studies, this can be a burden for the family and the campus. Then there are the different plans that everyone has. There are people who plan not to go to college because they want to work to help their family financial because they realize that going to college takes a long time. It takes years to graduate from college and be able to get a degree and then work. Studying while working can be an option, but it will be ineffective if you cannot manage your time. Many things will become messy when you cannot divide your time between work and college. For example, you get a poor grade, so you have to repeat classes. It just makes the burden even more. So there are people who choose to just focus on work. Also, there is no guarantee that if you go to university you will be successful is also a reason why people don't go to university. There are many examples that have happened that many graduates have also become unemployed. According to the TICOM based on data from the Central Bureau of Statistics or PPS, as many as 7.99% or around 673.49 thousand unemployed people came from university graduates. This proves that graduates also have difficulties when getting a job. However, many people who do not continue their education to college become successful people. To get successful does not only depend on the degree someone has, the ability of someone has, the effort and the commitment in doing something also determines someone's success. For example, to become an entrepreneur, people do not have to graduate from college. The most important thing is to be diligent, thorough, and careful. Then, the chosen major is not in accordance with the field of work offered. If your major is one that is difficult to get job prospect, your degree won't help. There are also many companies that prioritize work experience over education. So when you don't have any work experience, your degree won't change anything. Many people say that going to college can also increase your religion, but if you are not good at getting along with others, then it will be the same whether you go to college or not because your religion does not increase. Therefore, to continue your education to college, there are many things to consider. Well, that's all from me. Thank you.